Yeah, man. Starts hindered me so bad, and yeah, the second one was really good. Had one really going for me, and got past Kenny, and then he passed me back, and then unfortunately I hit the freaking dirt. And then yeah, I mean, riding's good, fitness is there. I just gotta get a start, and I'm there. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and work on them this week, and hopefully come back swinging for Houston.
Well, we saw you talking with Justin Barcia after the race. What were you guys discussing?
Yeah, I told him I was gonna punch him in the face. No, I'm just kidding. Me and Justin are buddies. He just said good ride, and we're coming out of here healthy, going east, and yeah, we just need starts. we're both struggling with that right now, but nah, we were just saying good job.
In that second race when you tipped over, did it kind of catch you off guard and you found a slick spot, or what was it?
I just went in there a little too aggressive and just tried to turn too tight and just push the front end. I run that thing pretty stiff, so I gotta roll the corners and not Cooper Webb them.
Can you take a little solace in tonight, though, in knowing that in that second race you're up there, you're battling with the guys that end up on the podium and almost made a couple passes with them? Yeah,
for sure. It felt really, really good. I felt really good, and they weren't pulling from me. I was actually catching them, and then me and Kenny went back and forth, which felt really, really good. And yeah, I just felt good to run up there again and be with them guys. And yeah, like I said, when I figured my starts out, these guys are in trouble, man.
Yeah, it was another 10th, 3 in a row. But you know, it's hard. Class is stacked. So you know, I didn't ride that great today, to be honest. My starts in the second and the third one were better. It's still not great, but better. So I guess if there was a positive takeaway tonight, it's the starts were better. Yeah. But I mean, other than that, you know, it's just trying to keep a level head and keep the expectations realistic. You know, obviously when I line up, I want to do well, and I'd love nothing more than to win. But you know, that's not realistic for me. You know, my goal every week is to be inside the top 10, and we've done it three weeks in a row. So I do feel like that 8th place range is in reach. Like I think that is achievable. So to get there, just need to be a little bit more comfortable on the bike, and we're gonna make a few adjustments this week and see if we can't get that going in the right direction. Right. So, but you know, all in all, like I said, considering my situation and what I'm riding, it's a great bike, but it's by no means a factory bike. Yeah. So I've been happy with what I've been able to do, and like I said, my goal every week is to try to be top 10, and we're able to do that again. So we'll just try to keep building and see if we can't get to that 9th, 8th region.
Yeah. What are some areas on the bike that you're still hoping to kind of dial in that you're not quite there yet? But?
Just feel. I'm struggling a little bit in the flattish corners, or I was struggling in both shallow and deep ruts, but my deep ruts have gotten better. Yep. Now it's the shallow stuff. I just don't have a great feel like where the tire is. Yep. So you know, trying to find that 3-4 inches of being too far outside or in the rut is really hard for me right now. So just trying to find a little bit more front tire feel to the ground. We have maybe a few ideas that we're going to try this week. But again, like I said, we literally haven't tested. We just thrown ideas at it, and last weekend was the first weekend that we've actually changed anything. So we're we're trying to make it better. Considering, you know, I'm not on any team. I'm not on their team, but you know, Mitch has been very helpful with allowing Adrian, their suspension guy, to help me during the weekend. So we're trying to make the best of it, and I think if we can make that area better, I think, you know, that 8th place becomes a lot more achievable.
12th overall again. Oof, it's tough to hear, but. The Triple Crown, man, honestly, I was looking forward to it just because I'd been getting out of the gate really well. And, man, today we struggled getting out of the gate. I don't really know what the reason was for that, but I just couldn't quite pull it together on the starts. maybe stemmed a little bit from practice. We, I think, lined up 11 for the first main, and that's just not going to get it done. We got to be a little better in practice, give myself a better gate, and see if we can be a little more in the mix. So, on the ground a little bit tonight as well, and I don't know, just didn't quite have it today for some reason. It was a little bit of a frustrating day all the way around from practice on. So we need to be a little bit better. We're struggling to find a little bit of comfort in some areas, but I just need to be better ttoo. There's times where I was a little too timid, a little too aggressive in some spots. This 450, you got to have a little more finesse in some spots, and then a little more, a little less, a little more. So. We're figuring it out. It doesn't look like it because on paper we're going 6, 12, 12, but I feel like we're making some improvements and in some areas, and we just need to get back to starting good and give myself a chance, and we'll be okay.
Not to say that the first 2 rounds weren't intense, but how was the intensity of the 450 class in these shorter races for the first time?
I thought it was good. I just was just back in the pack, So it's hard, when you get back there and all these guys are so good, and if you start in 6th, you can kind of put yourself in that kind of group of guys, and you start in 12th and you're kind of in that group of guys. So it's just one of those things, man. We got to give ourselves a little bit more of a shot, have a little bit more comfort and a little more belief in how the bike's going to react to a few things, and once we get that, we'll be a-okay. I got faith in that, and I like a lot of these races coming up. Going into Houston, I really like that dirt, like that stadium, so hoping to bring some good vibes into Houston. But this week we got a little bit of work to do and try and get a little more comfort, and I think we'll do that.
Yeah, exactly. 17th, I was happy just to not do the LCQ. That's a big part of just all that this weekend. And first main, I was in about 15th, 16th. I was holding off like McCowrath, Bloss, all those good riders. I was really happy with it. But then I kind of just hit a wall a little bit around the 8-minute mark, and fell back to 18th. So I was happy with that ride, but that definitely kind of smoked me a little bit. I only had about a month on the bike before the season from an injury, so I really worked on my heat race stuff. Yeah. So now now that I'm in mains, it's time to really start working on getting into those 20 lappers and everything, working on my conditioning.
Well, you've been really impressive through these last couple of rounds. I mean, I think most people know you're like a desk job guy, and then you come race on the weekends. Pretty wild program.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I work in IT, BI analyst. I work remote, but I go into the office 1 day a week. So at first it was 3 days, and they bumped it down to 2, and now it's 1. So that definitely helps with like the riding and training and traveling. But yeah, I went to school for IT. That was my whole little thing a couple years ago. So I just kept it rolling, and this sport, it's a lot of fun, but definitely need a backup plan. So especially when you're just kind of like a privateer, it's kind of, now I'm able to I'm not worried about going to the line being like, oh man, I need this money to go to my gas. I'm like, dude, I'm just out here having fun, racing my dirt bike. Like, that's what the dream is what I love.
I felt really good on the bike, just didn't execute starts, and with it being a Triple Crown format, you got to get off the gate with those guys. So last 2 main events, I was coming through the field, slid out in main event 2, and ended up having to work my way from 21st. And then main event 3, I was just kind of sending a little too much. Last lap, had 10th in sight and 9th even ahead of him, and tried to make a cross rut, not cross, and ended up going over the berm, off the track, over the berm, and landed on my head. But all in all, healthy, and took a lot of the positives out of qualifying better, racing better, and being in the battle with those guys felt good.
In that crash, it looked like it maybe took you a little bit to catch your breath. Did you just kind of knock the wind out of you or something?
I was more or less like, what are you doing, man? Like, take up a new profession at this point. But no, right before that, I had a moment right in front of the mechanics area, and I saved that. And then I think I was just, at that point, I was like all or nothing kind of thing. And got up, and thankfully it's one of those, you get up and you're like, wow, that's sick, I'm not hurt. Like, it was one of those things where I knew I wasn't hurting, and I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that. Like, someone was watching over me, and thankfully they were, because yeah, I mean, a lot of guys been getting hurt lately, crashes happen, and it is what it is. I'm happy with the bike, happy with my riding, so hopefully in Oakland we can get back to the normal format, execute good starts, and man, I'd love to be up there as close as I can to the top 5.
I know it was like a wild end to the night. I think you still even got 14th in the last race, but is it kind of nice because it's a Triple Crown that it kind of salvages your night to, even if you have a big one, it's still a decent result?
Yeah, I think on that aspect, yeah, because I had 2 crashes in the last 2. So overall, luckily I had a 9th, and then, with a 16th and a 14th, salvaged a 14. And honestly, like any other format, I probably would have just pulled off. Like, that crash was kind of hard enough that I was like, yeah, I don't need to be out here anymore. And all in all, the bike was luckily in good enough shape to get around that final few corners and get to the finish. But yeah, it was good to be on the last lap and had that one, not first lap.